Hi everyone, it's Charlene, one half of the Witchy Stitchers, and this is video number 103. Today is May 30th, and I am filming to you earlier this morning because I have got a ton of chores to get done today. And you will see Dalton walking back and forth because he's doing his part of the chores already, so he promised he wouldn't make too much noise. So I won't apologize because housework is housework. So I have lots to show you today and a few plans moving forward. I will hopefully be back. Let me look at the calendar. Let's see, today is the 30th, so probably be back on the 12th of June, since Morgan and I are rotating back and forth, which seems to be working out really well with our schedules. I did remember to wear the shirt that she got me for Mother's Day. Don't be a salty heifer. I love it. So perfect. So thank you, little mouse. For the month so far, I have done 11,760 stitches. And for the year, I am at 73,113. So I feel like I'm doing okay. I did an average Saturday, I think, or Sunday, and I've averaged about 14,000-ish a month, which, I mean, it's not, 20,000 like some people do, but I'm happy with it. So every stitch counts. So one of the, so I'll discuss my plans. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let me talk about one of my finishes first. It is on our Instagram page, same name, Witchy Stitchers, and it is also on our Witchy Stitchers Facebook page. I finished my patriotic table runner yesterday, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. So make sure and go over and check that out. Turned out great. Was able to use lots of really fun scraps, so I was really happy with that one. So I will show you what I've worked on since I saw you last, which was the 15th. So since I finished my red quilt, which I had posted a picture of that also on Instagram and our Facebook page, I needed a different project for the bus stop until Dalton was finished with school. And I ended up deciding to use, decided to pick up my Wave Starry Night. And I think Morgan found this one on an Etsy page. I'm not positive though, but I think I've mentioned it before that she found several Van Gogh-ish patterns on different pages for me. And she printed this one out for me so I would have it. And it doesn't, of course, I'm not finding it in my list of ones that I've shown you. Give me just 2 seconds. It is the combination of here it is, the Wave and Starry Night. And like I said, I just used it at the school bus stop. So I didn't get a whole lot done, but again, every stitch counts. So I'm making that one for Dalton because he loves the Wave and he also likes the Starry Night. So it's a great combination of the two. Let's see, next up I worked on, and these are in no particular order. I just worked on them when, pardon me, whatever day I was able to work on them. So the next one I will show you, I've got all my pattern pictures here in my phone because it's easier for me to show you that way. So my War Pony, I worked on it on the 26th. And I did okay on this one. I was happy with the progress that I made. I've only got 2 colors going in the area that I'm in right now. So, I mean, obviously you can't see a lot of what I've done. But I folded it back up on me so it would stay clean. But essentially now I have a square as opposed to what I had before. So I think when I pick this one back up on the 26th of June, I think I'm going to start going across. I haven't decided for sure yet, but I think that's what I'm going to do, because I would be so happy. Oops, hold. As I drop everything. To get to the edge of the pattern. Okay, the one that I worked on the 25th, which is the one and only Christmas piece I have, is Festive Frosting. And I honestly think that this month, excuse me, in June when I work on this, I think I could get a finish on this cupcake. So I'm really happy. I have just a few X stitches or white stitches up here, and then of course the back stitch and the shiny, and then a little tiny bit left in the cup and the back stitch. So I think I'm going to shoot for a finish on this one when I pick it back up in June. That would be really cool. I don't know what direction I'll go from there on it, but I might work on the Merry Christmas and some of that other stuff too. Next up, and this goes into plans. So one of the challenges in the Hobbit group that I belong to, they're going to do a June finish challenge. So get as many finishes as you can for points. And I have so many projects that a day, maybe 2, some of them 3, if I wanted to go that route, would be able to have finishes. And so I went through and I was like, there are so many that I could very potentially knock out that I need to entertain this. They're also going to allow you to count for finishes on stitch-alongs. And the one stitch-along that Morgan and I have, well, she's actually got a couple, but one of the ones that I have is the Prickly But Cute. And so I'm going to put that in there because each one of these will count as a finish. So I've worked on this one the last few days because I was trying to get done the ones that are partially done. And last night I finished this one completely up. I used beads for the blossoms. So these 4 are done on top. These 3 are done here. This one's done down here. And then obviously you can see I've got starts on these 2, this one, and then this guy is almost done. So I worked on the border, and I don't know how much I will get done on this today. I've been using this as my evening stitching while we've been watching the basketball playoffs or the hockey playoffs. So I'll just have to wait and see. But it's definitely going to go into the finish challenge, and it would be awesome possum if I could get those done for June. So we'll see what happens. I really love that piece. So another piece that I worked on, and I think I put this one in actually as a challenge, was my July. This is the Country Cottage Needleworks. Oops. And I have May through June done. And I don't know where all I worked on this one. I think, well, I finished up that bottom line of the border, and then I worked on the house and the flowers. So, a lot left to do on this one. But I need to put it in throughout the month for the challenges, so it's done to hang up on the 1st of July. So I'm sure that there's some challenge, and I could put this in as a finish too if I can get that done. So that would be great. So we'll see. Let's see. Next up, I worked on my Quaker bees, and when I had visited you last, I had told you that I was going to try to get it finished before I came back to you, which I did not. I put a lot of work into Morgan's Mermaid, which you'll see. But this is another one that I want to put in for a potential finish in June. And I got quite a bit done. So it is very, very doable to have a finish by the end of June. I really like this piece. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, every stitch counts. So when I come to you in June, so I'll come to you twice in June. It won't quite be the end of the month. So maybe I'll have some finishes to show you throughout the month, or maybe they'll all be at the end of the month. We'll see. Let's see. Next up, I finally got caught up on this last night. I was almost caught up, and then I didn't stitch for a couple of days, but I finally got it caught up last night. And forgive me, I have to take it out of the hoop. So this is the Temperature Quaker by Stitch & Mommy. And this is May's motif. And the one that Sarah done is much more colorful than mine, because, oh, that was Luna. Sorry. You need to warn them that they need Dramamine, kitty. I haven't opened the window yet. It's still a little chilly. It's only 40 something, so I don't want to open the window quite yet. I'll open it in a little bit and he'll be happy. He can look at, there's a bunch of nuthatches that hang out on the 2 pine trees right outside the window. And then we've got some stellar jays that will hang out on the boughs of the tree. And he set some talks to them. So this is where I'm at. And as you can see, May has been very boring. And I have 2 days left. I have another little motif here and then a little tiny one here. And if the temperatures stay true to what the forecast is, they're both going to be 38-20. So let's say a sunflower for May, because that's pretty much what it looks like. So hopefully June gets a little bit brighter colors, but we're predicted to get a lot of rain, which I'm not going to complain, because as long as there's not a whole lot of lightning, you know, it's moisture, and moisture is what prevents fires. But moisture always also provides the growth, and then when it dries out in the summer, it's got lots of fuel. So you pick your poison. All right, the next thing that I worked on was my Ghosts and Goblins, and it was in for a challenge as well. I don't know if I've showed you guys this bag. It was just scraps of Halloween fabric that I had left over from a quilt that I had made for a fundraiser for Dalton's class when he was in grade school. And it was perfect for a fun bag for my Halloween project. I don't know if this one will get any love tomorrow, since it's the 31st, because it's payday and it's grocery day, and I kind of try to cram everything into my day at the end of the month so I can just get it all done at once, so I don't have to worry about any of the rest of that later on. And that's just the way I am. So I don't know if I'm going to get to work on this one tomorrow or not. We'll see. But this is Ghosts and Goblins. This is another one that I want to try and get finished for June. I also have this one started underneath it. It won't get done in June, but these are the two. But it would be really nice to get this one done and a good chunk of this one, so maybe I can start this one in 24. I'm still sticking to my no new starts. So I made a lot of progress on him, mostly in him, mostly the purples. I think I worked on the gray. I think I worked on this black in his face right here, but I think everything else was in the ghoul or the goblin, Grim Reaper, whatever you want to call him. So, and then the Scary Witches, I've only got very minimal start. So I've got enough that if I didn't get any more done on it, I still would be able to start the third one next year. But we'll just have to wait and see. Where I get with that. I'll put all this up later. I don't want to rattle in your ears. Okay, next up I worked on my leaves, and I hadn't worked on this one. I think I saw it had been over a year since I had touched this one. This is another one that I could very possibly get done in June too. Love the color palette. And I actually got this pattern with these flosses, and then of course there were several others. But it's a DMC pattern, and it's called Fallen Leaves. And I've made the companion piece to this one already. Are you coming to visit, Luna? Are you going to come say hi? I always have to look and see where this is at. No, don't play with the thread. So I got quite a bit done. I worked on these leaves, this leaf, and then this one right here. Please get out of my coffee. Are you going to come say hi to the peoples? No? You're just going to stand there and be pretty? You didn't even get a tail flick. Right? All right. Let's see. I showed you festive frosting. So I also worked on this one quite a bit. Oh, it's not with it. Oh, there it is. So I'm talking about the Field of Poppies. So I have to tell you guys a story about this. So a while back, I had told you guys that Morgan had bought, she and I each, a tablet. And, you know, she tried and tried and tried. She's like, Mom, we need to try Pattern Keeper. You know, we keep hearing all these good things about it. Let's try Pattern Keeper. And I'm like, I don't know, you know, old dog, new tricks. So I finally conceded, got Pattern Keeper, and I have to admit, I was wrong. I absolutely love it. And during COVID, she had gotten a hold of Megan with Arinco, and she had ordered us, it's either 6 or 7 Van Gogh patterns. And since in having Pattern Keeper, I was like, you know, I wonder, I'm enjoying this so much with my other patterns, would I enjoy this the same way? So I reached out to her, and I was a little bit apprehensive because I have several hard copies of Hade's, and I had reached out to Hade and said, you know, hey, you know, I have these in hard copy. Are they, could we get them in PDFs as well, since we've already purchased the hard copy? Well, you'll have to pay another $10. Well, if I've already bought them for full price, that makes it a $30 pattern. So I couldn't really justify that. I was like, no, I'll just, you know, work from hard copy and go from there. Well, I reached out to Arinco, to Megan, same question. Worst she could say is no. She didn't hesitate. I had an email back the very next, I emailed her that morning. I had an email back that afternoon. She sent me, and I had to send her proof of purchase, of course, but she sent me everything, all the PDFs, everything to download to Pattern Keeper for all of my patterns. Didn't blink an eye. I highly, highly recommend them. By far the best customer service from any large pattern company that I've ever done business with. I was really, really impressed with her professionalism, and I highly recommend them. And it's just Arinco, ORENCO originals.com. And they have, she has a a beautiful arrangement of the Van Gogh art. She has Monet. She has an Alphonse Mucha that I bought that I'm making for one of Dalton's friends' moms. Again, I recommend her hands down with professionalism for how she took care of us for our patterns. So now that I have this on Pattern Keeper, and again, to those of you that I said I'll never do that, I was wrong, because I'm absolutely loving it. So this is, I got clear to the edge over here on this, and this is how much progress I've made on my field of poppies. And it won't get done in June, obviously, but this is definitely a goal to finish for this year. And I have decided two things. I have decided that as long as I am able, I will always have a Van Gogh, and I will always have a Mirabilia in progress, because I thoroughly enjoy working on both. Next year I plan on starting the Dressmaker's Daughter for Morgan, and I also have my Aries that is a Mirabilia. So technically next year I'll have two going. But I think when I finish my field of poppies, side note, one of my favorite movies in the world is A Good Year. It has Russell Crowe and, I apologize, I forget her name. She was also in Public Enemies. The cafe that she works at has the cypress tree, which was a Van Gogh painting. And it plays kind of a pivotal part into the movie. I won't spoil it. You'd need to watch it to see it. I love that painting. So when I'm done with Field of Poppies, that's going to be my next start, because it just speaks to me. So this one, again, has been getting a lot of love. My goal is to finish. So when I photocopied this to make my working copy, I put it onto an 11 by 17. And then, of course, folded each, so it's, front and back. So essentially I have 4 parts. So top of page 1, bottom of page 1, top of page 2, bottom of page 2. And yesterday I finished the top of page 1, and I have, I'm going to guess about between 600 and 900 stitches left on the bottom of page 1, which consists of this down in here. And I would say that the break for page is probably, I'm going to guess about right in here, thereabouts. So that being said, I'm going to work on this some more today. I've already put in a little bit, but as soon as I'm done with my video, I'm going to go back to work on it. So this is where I'm at. Oh my goodness. So today I worked, I'll bring it up close so you guys can see. I worked on these beads, finished this in her body. I brought this white down. I almost have a color finish with this 101. And then this is 1432. It's acrylic. It comes way on down here. And like I said, my goal is to finish this page, and I guess it's closer to somewhere here even with this line of pearls, because this comes on up and you stitch that on that page too. So, but that is where I've gotten at, and I figure that if I can get that done, then that will leave what I have left on essentially page 2. And if I've done my math right, I will have, give or take, 11,000 stitches left, which will come out to about 366 a day in June to have it done by the 1st of July. So we'll see. And that includes the beads and stuff too. So we'll see. Hopefully when I come back to you on the 12th, I have made a tremendous amount of progress on those tails, and you can see where she's at. So my plans moving forward, as I talked about, to do the finishes and to work on her mermaid. I want to continue doing the challenges with the Hobbit group, which most of them will work, or I can make them work with the finishes that I want to do. I have so many little ones that I could potentially have done that I think I can make it work. Right now my whips are at, I got my whip sheet so I could know what I was talking about. I'm at 105 for my whips. So, I mean, if I could get that to 100, if I could have 5 finishes for June, that would be amazing. They would all be small, but I mean, finishes are finishes. So, we'll see. And then I have a couple quilts that I want to work on. I'm working on a crumb quilt that I'm just using up a whole bunch of my scraps. And I'm starting to get quilts cut out and come up with plans for quilts for Dalton to have for his dorm. And I realize that, you know, he's going to be a senior this year, but it's going to go by fast. And with the very high probability of us moving in the spring, as in next spring, I don't want to be having to cram in and jamming and moving and everything and trying to get his quilts made for him to have for his dorm. So if I start getting them done now, worst case scenario, they get folded up and put in his closet and at least he's got them. So anyway, those are my plans for the summer. So as far as personal life goes, So we got our new dishwasher and refrigerator. They're both working great. The dishwasher, I've never seen one like this before. It's got an extra tray on the top that you can pull out, that you can put like pancake turners and wooden spoons and stuff like that in. I've never seen a dishwasher like that before, so that's kind of cool. The refrigerator is probably about 6 inches wider this way than our old one, which it's nice, it's deeper, so we've got a lot more room, but it's not what we're used to. So we're getting used to having more room for, all the stuff in the fridge. Dalton is going to visit with one of our local businesses tomorrow for a possibility for a summer job. So send good juju for that for him. Since he's not playing football, he won't be playing football his senior year. That's a whole nother soapbox I won't bore you with. But he wanted to get a summer job, make a little bit extra money and save up for spending money, car insurance, whatever else. Let's see. I think that's about it. Preston's back on days. Don't know how long that'll last, but he's back on days for right now. Morgan is doing well. Her job is keeping her very, very busy. But she's enjoying it and she's having fun, and that's all that matters. So all of our furry babies are doing fine. We gave the girls their first dose of flea and tick medicine because we're starting to have quite a few ticks. And we also started them on some new allergy medicine that I found at Petco. It's not what I usually get from Chewy, but we needed to get something. Oh, hi. You want to say hi? We have a visitor. It's the potato. Want to say hi? But they seem to be doing really well with it. And like I said, usually I buy from Chewy, but if this continues to work as well as it is, I think we'll probably, because it's the same price. And there's a Petco right by the King Soopers where we shop. So it works out perfect. Let's see, what else was I going to... Oh, we got our plants for our little mini garden. It's nothing huge. We put in 2 early girl tomatoes, a black cherry tomato, a beefsteak tomato, the yellow pear tomatoes, 2 straight 8 cucumber plants, a yellow squash, 2 strawberry plants. I'm forgetting something. Oh, and I got a rhubarb plant, so we're gonna try that. I love strawberry rhubarb pie and jelly, So I'm anxious to see how that does. I know that it grows really well up here because we are colder. So I'm anxious for that. And then of course I bought a mint for the bugs, and then I bought 8 marigolds to plant in between the tomatoes because marigolds deter cutworms and tomato worms. So yeah, they do, huh? You're really singing. I don't know if you guys can hear. She's really singing. So I think that is pretty much all of my news for the last 2 weeks. We had a good Memorial Day weekend. We went to town on Saturday to get the plants, but Sunday and yesterday we just stayed home and done housework. Preston and Dalton vacuumed out the truck and done some stuff downstairs in the basement and sharpened my knives because I'm really picky. I'm one of those people that have to have incredibly sharp knives. I blame my dad for that, for getting me used to having sharp knives my whole life. I think that's about it. I think that's all my news. I finished the table runner, which I love. I'm really happy with that pattern. And yeah, I can't think of anything. I'm looking around my craft room to see if there's anything else. I swapped out my sewing machines so I could do some quilting. Other than that, it's about the same. This is a disaster because I was looking for a certain thread and I just grabbed it so I could get it done. So I have to reorganize all this. I moved all my threads down underneath my sewing cabinet so I can do better with putting my stitching stuff up here. So, but yeah, I think we're good. Are you tired of me talking to myself? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I will let you go, and I will wish you a wonderful couple of weeks. As far as I know, Morgan's planning on being to see you on Sunday, but if not, we will be back sometime between now and the 12th and catch you up on all of our news. So until then, have a great day, and just remember to always be kind. Bye.